الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back for a few words. Ramadan, day 19. One of the biggest things to influence us in the way that we talk, in the way that we walk, in the way that we behave, in the way we act, interact, in what our attitude and behavior is like, is our circle of friends. And in fact, there's a statement that show me your friends and I will show you your religion. Because the power or an impact of friends upon an individual is so great. Rasulullah ﷺ gave us an analogy. An example of a good companion is like of a perfume seller, that you go into a perfume shop, and if he's a really good friend, what might he do? He might actually gift you some itar, some perfume. And even if he doesn't gift it to you, he might actually apply some on you. You might actually be able to try some on. And even if he does not give that, at the very least, that when you walk out of the perfume shop, what will happen? You will have good, nice fragrance upon you, or whilst you are still even in the shop, you had the benefit of smelling something nice. This is the example of a good friend and a good companion. And the example of a bad companion is like that of a blacksmith's workshop. That when you enter, one of the things that can happen, dangerous, is that the spark will fly off and fall onto yourself, onto your body, and it can actually put your garments on fire. If not that, then what would happen? That you're standing there and you're inhaling all that smoke, which is really bad for your health, bad for yourself. And if not that, then at the very least, how if he will impact you in a negative way is that when you walk out of the workshop and you go elsewhere, your clothes and your body will still be stinking of that smoke. So this is the example that Rasulullah ﷺ gave, and he gave the wise words that we need to pick and choose our friends and our circle of friends, because our circle of friends and the people that we hang around with, they will determine how we lead our life. They will determine our goals and our aspirations for this life, and more importantly, the life hereafter. And this is the reason why all our ulama, and they tell us that we need to choose wisely, and we need to stick around with the people of piety. We need to stick around with people with knowledge, with ilm. For if we stick around with people who are ignorant, we ourselves will become ignorant. Identify those people who are the friends of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the awliya, those people who are pious, those people who are knowledgeable, and we need to hang around with them. Because if we hang around with them, if we stay with them, if we sit with them, if we are in their company, in their companionship, their qualities will rub onto us. Even though we might be sinful and we might be bad and we might not be as good as they are, but hanging around with them, they will positively impact us, influence us, and we will yearn to be like them. And more so, they will help us to get closer to Allah, our ultimate goal. Whereas if we hang around with bad people, what will happen is that their negative influences will actually drag us down. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is quite descriptive what will happen on the Day of Judgment for the people who actually followed those negative influences. And what would happen is on the Day of Judgment, the person would be regretting, and he would be in one of the worst forms of regret and remorse, because he knows that that day is the day when all the decisions have been made, and whether he will go to Jannah or Jahannam. And he will cry out and saying that if only I had followed the path of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the path of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam is obviously the path of the people of the righteous. And he would regret the fact that he actually took a path other than the path of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is the path of the negative influences, the path of the negative people, the people who are the enemies of Allah, the people who are far from the deen. And he will say, why did I follow this individual? But obviously that day is too late. That day is way too late. And this is the reason why, whilst we are alive here, okay, we ourselves, have to be examples for other people. So we ourselves have to be in good company, and when we are in good company, our children, our brothers, our younger sisters, nephews and nieces, they will look up to us and they will see us, and they will see that we ourselves keep good company. They too should keep good company. And therefore, what we need to do is we need to identify all our friends. If those friends of ours, if they are actually positive, influential people for the akhirah. And when I say positive, I'm not saying positive for the dunya, for the wealth. I'm saying positive for the akhirah, which is the main concern for all of us. So positive in the line of following the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Positive in the line of following out the footsteps laid out by the Salaf, the footsteps laid out by our scholars. This is what we need to follow. We need to identify who they are, and then we keep their company. We make sure that the vast majority of our time throughout, whether the day or the night, whenever we're available, that we spend our time in their company. And even though we might not be able to do everything that these individuals are doing, at the very least we will be inspired and we will do something good. And as for our negative and bad friends, and the friends who are far from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the friends and companions of evil, those who get up to no good, even in the dunya terms, these are the friends that we make dua for. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala day in, day out, oh Allah, please guide them, show them the right way. And when we make dua for them about their guidance and for their guidance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ensure that we remain steadfast upon guidance itself. Secondly, we need to limit ourselves how often we interact with them. And the main points of interaction with them should be the point with the intention of da'wah, with the intention of calling them towards Allah. And when we do that with that intention at the bottom of our heart, then inshallah we will be able to influence them. But if we don't have that intention at all, rather we just want their companionship and we just want to enjoy their company and their jokes and what they say and what they do and what they get up to, hence what's happening is that we already get influenced by them, and by being influenced by them they will overpower us, and our good deeds that we have will slowly diminish and it will wipe out. So we need to take this, and let us make this Ramadan resolution right now, that this time next year, if Allah gives us the long life, if Allah allows us to live until next year, that what we do is that from now until next year, for this next one whole entire year, we encircle a group of friends who are going to be positive, who are going to be Allah conscious, who are going to be on the righteous path, who are going to be the people who follow the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, people who are sticking with the ulama, people who stick with the knowledgeable people, and people who actually follow the guidance of our scholars. If we can make that intention within ourselves, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open the doors for us, and we will become better people, better in this life and better no doubt in the life hereafter. And for these are the people of Allah. We want to be with the people of Allah. They are termed as the awliya. May Allah give me and you the tawfiq to be amongst them. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.